everyone. I'm Chen Dong. This is my friend Chris and Jefton. We are going to talking about the complicated theories of transhumanism. Someone said the transhumanism is the most dangerous idea in the world, and but also a lot of people believe that it can change the human life. So what is uh, so we conclude the transhumanism as complicated. Uh,
These are just our contents.
this,
Just
yeah,
four things we're going to be talking about.
yeah. I'm going to have a brief introduction and history about transhumanism, and Jefton will talk about the dehumanization, and Chris will talk about the surrogates. So transhumanism is an international cultural and intellectual movement with the eventual goal of fundamentally transforming the human condition by developing and making widely available technologies to enhance human tech, intellectual and physical and psychological capacities. Uh, the fundamental idea of transhumanism was first introduced in 1923 by a British geneticist JBS Hayday in his essay Science and Future. At that time he already predicted the uh, uh, human human life will be uh, uh, uh,
Advanced.
sorry advanced technology and the science will change the human itself to reach a higher level of to be a advanced human, a human plus. And in 1960s, humanists began to identify people who adopt technologies and lifestyles and worldviews transitional to post humanity as a transhuman. In 1990, uh, intellect, intelligent intelligent seers in California has grown into worldwide transhumanism movement. And as we all know, in 2008, uh, Google they established Singularity University in California to push forward the transhumanism uh, evaluation. And my friend Jefton will talk more about how the transhumanism pertain.
Thank you, Chen Dong. So I just wanted to speak briefly on how transhumanism pertains to our life. Um, I have two names here, Jeremy Rifkin and Stuart Newman, and both of these guys have pretty much coined the idea that biotechnology has the power to make profound changes in organismal identity. Pretty much saying here that what we're finding is that we're dehumanizing our human species through all of these technologies, especially in the human body. The next point that I stated was that these two individuals argue that against the genetic engineering of human beings because they fear the blurring of the boundary between human and artifact. Once again, understanding that we're talking about the topic of dehumanization, and these two guys are pretty much against what we're finding in transhumanism. The third point is, in the extreme, this could lead to manufacturing and enslavement of monsters. That's the name that they've coined the transhumanism movement eventually, and what it could become. They've called them monsters. They've called them human clones, human animals, bioroids, but even lesser dislocations of humans and non-human form from social and ecological systems are seen as problematic. Once again, we're dealing with robots that could eventually take over the world. One more thing about what the transhumanists believe in. A lot of the transhumanists are atheists and agnostic. Pretty much with this transhumanist movement, we find that immortality is in place. They want to create humans that'll last and live on this earth forever, wherein it's contrary to a lot of faith-based beliefs. A lot of you all in here may be spiritual or may have some type of faith. It goes directly against what you believe in because there is no, the body is not mortal anymore. They believe in immortality and never dying. So going back to the other slide, the goal for the transhumanists is they believe that we are morally obligated to help the human race transcend into its biological limits. This is pretty much their defense when they're asked several questions. For example, is this dehumanization? How will this affect the human race? This is pretty much their go-to defense. They believe that it's their obligation to continue with technology, but as Dr. Wafiq Wabi has often explained to us, there's nothing wrong with advancing in technology. It's the mere fact of whose hands it's in, who has the power over what's going on within this human body. And then I'm going to hand it off to my friend Chris with more on surrogates.
All right, hello. First of all, say hi. I need your attention. No looking at your phones or anything like that. We need all the attention up here. All right, so I'm going to be talking about the use of surrogates in transhumanism. So the idea is from this movie starring Bruce Willis. You might know him. And the idea is that you connect your mind to this database, and then that transfers to a robot that goes and lives out like your daily life. And so people can purchase these robots, and then they can go out and live and do things that, like, they can risk and take risks and things like that. So you can get a surrogate that's better improved yourself. You're better looking, you're faster, you're stronger, and you can be whatever you want to be. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You can even be someone else, which is a pretty scary idea. And one of the quotes in the movie is, "How do you save humanity when the only thing that is real is you?" So let's just keep that in mind as we go through some of the next slides. So this is what it actually does. A surrogate can create a different version of yourself. So on the left here, I don't know if you can see it that well with the lighting, but it's basically we have a man here who's the main character, and he's connected to this database system, and then his mind is transferred to this, which is his surrogate, which is, whoa, hold on, I don't know how that happened. So this is his surrogate, which you can see here. He's kind of like an old-looking man, and there he's young, he's looking fit and athletic, and then on the bottom here, as you can see, kind of how the surrogates can be made. And so why surrogates? Why would you want to have surrogates? They can allow a lot of safety, so a person can stay at their home and be connected to this database, and their surrogates can go out and live their lives. And I mean, you can get in a car accident, you can have a disaster, and you yourself are not harmed. It would just be your surrogate. And then also you can be just a faster, stronger, better looking version of yourself. There's a lot of there can be military use, so you can send these surrogates out to battlefields, and they get shot or injured, and it's just the robot. It's not actually the soldier who would be hurt. And then also, because it's the future. So this is just a short clip of like what could be the good use of surrogates.
I'm down. Damn things aren't free, Pulaski. Take the snipers from behind this time. Yes, sir. Back online.
So he's connecting to the surrogate. It opens up, and now there it is. A new soldier goes onto the battlefield, and no one's hurt and no one's injured. So why not surrogates? Well, you have to ask yourself, like, if you're this robot and you're going out in the world, is it really you? So sometimes you can think of you as mind and body. So if it's just your mind and not with your body, is it really you experiencing life? And then also things can always go wrong with technology. I mean, there can be something that someone hacks into the programming, something goes wrong with the programming. There's a lot of questions and ifs and buts about surrogates. And so this is just a little short clip of what happens if something goes wrong. There you see, everyone is connected to these surrogates. They get disconnected, complete disaster. So there's good and the bad, and we have to figure out how we can do it and if it's the right way to go. And so in real life, there's neuroscientists such as Christoph Koch and Giulio Tononi who have these theories that minds are these mechanical things that have these electronic signals that are mechanical, and that consciousness, and it can be transferred and copied and things like that. So that is really the way that we could actually make humanoid robots, all those surrogates. So that's mind uploading and mind transferring. And this is all a hypothetical theory. This is what could happen. And so how this relates back to transhumanism. Transhumanism it's really life extension technology. It's how do we create a better human? How do we create humanity 2.0? And can it really happen? We have to ask ourselves these questions. Can it really happen? Are we denying nature? And is a surrogate robot really you? Are you really going to experience life if you're sitting in your house and you're connected to a robot and that's experiencing it for you? So these are the questions we have to ask. So I go back to the quote of the movie, how can you save humanity when the only thing that is real is you? So what do you choose to be? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? I have 100 questions. First, these surrogates are kind of humanoids.
It's just a theory.
But I mean the idea that they look like a human being.
So it'd be a robot, and they'd be covered kind of in like artificial skin. They'd have complete human functions. They'd walk like humans, talk like humans, everything. I mean,
So,
the mind
yeah.
of you would just be transferred.
So the expense, the price that you pay to make one of these is very expensive. Why take my thoughts and put it in? Why don't you put other thoughts? I mean, why should it be connected, quote unquote? Why should anybody be connected to this miracle if these are miracles, human miracles?
Yeah, I guess there's a reason where it's like complete safety. You have complete.
Does it have to be surrogate of me? It could be a humanoid on its own, unless Hollywood wants to make it this way. Any other question? Any other question? Very good. Thank you very much.